right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Given, episode 6.
All right, we've got ourselves a potentially painful situation
The pain
headed
train.
our way. Yep.
Yeah, and it will resolve smoothly and quickly, and then we will get back to just cinnamon roll, wholesome, wonderful, peaceful, nothing bad happening. It'll be great.
Right?
But at the very least, this episode will probably be pretty painful. And
yeah, we've got ourselves a potential bully angle. We've got ourselves a potential, maybe even like an abuse angle. We've got ourselves a potential angle of where we've got, not murder, but, maybe like something darker or what have you. So,
and then just general trauma from everything that happened and that could happen.
We're going to learn hopefully a lot more about Mafuyu, but we're also going to learn a lot more about Uenoyama given how he responds to this. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. Okay, very unique episode. Very, very heavy at parts, and then very light, and then very whimsical in that we spent a lot of the time with him just walking around the city, but then we actually also spent a good amount of time kind of focusing on individual characters, giving them bits of time to kind of process okay, so we're getting a song together, but also feelings and thoughts about all this. Okay, Mafuyu, where do you stand on this? And then how they all respond to Mafuyu. So, okay.
Yeah. I love the... I want to say pacing, but that doesn't quite feel right. The atmosphere combined with the pacing for this show, because generally it because this show is very slow, right? And that could could totally be a bad thing, right? Where a story moves at a pace kind of like this, and then it ends up just sort of dragging or something like that, right? But I don't feel that. I don't feel that in the slightest. I'm completely engaged every second of the journey. And yet sometimes, it could be a full minute of Sato just walking around the city, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, this show has a very good understanding of why I think people are coming to this show, is that we want to see some characters that are going to go on their own emotional journey, discover something about themselves, and connect through that. Now, there's probably going to be a romantic connection, but for now, it's not there yet. Right now, in a lot of ways, Uenoyama is the one that's still kind of in the closet in that he doesn't really understand his own feelings regarding this. So it makes it really wholesome as he kind of stumbles around figuring it out.
Exactly, yeah.
Mafuyu also doesn't know how to feel about this, but it's not with regards to Uenoyama. It's with regards to himself.
Yeah.
He was basically asking Haruki, how should I feel about this?
Right.
Because I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah, and I love that scene as a contrast to the scene with the what was the Shizusumi or Hiragi?
Hiragi,
yeah. Him coming in and being like, oh hey, and kind of poking at Sato, right? Sato clearly was not okay with that, right? He's like, okay, that's cool, you're like, yeah, and he leaves, right? But then with Haruki, right? It's no, I'm genuinely asking. I'm asking because on the one hand, to communicate basically where I'm at without going into the details of my personal situation, right? But he would genuinely be interested in any advice or feedback or anything if he has it, right? Now, of course, once it's communicated, Haruki's like, oh shit, yeah, I don't know, dude, that's some heavy stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that actually he didn't, that's what I was going to say, he didn't actually ask Mafuyu anything. Haruki was asked by Mafuyu because he was just there. Like, in some ways, what's wonderful about Haruki is he doesn't present himself as someone that's like, I'm here to kind of have a mission, I have a goal here.
Right.
So he's a little bit safer. But the other thing is that obviously Hiragi wasn't trying to poke at him necessarily. He came with this here, and he's worried, and he's like, hey, I just want to know what you're feeling.
Right.
And so he says it the wrong way. He inquires in a way that seems like he could be then criticizing him, so he leaves.
Yep.
And then I loved that Shizusumi comes in and is like, oh, yeah, he's right. oh, he's gone. Oh, okay.
Right,
What was going on? And he's like, kind of baka, like.
Right, Hiragi was almost trying to maybe laugh off his how uncomfortable he felt as a result of how the conversation went, right? And then it's, hey, baka,
like it's gonna be okay. Like if anything, we'll figure this out, and you don't need to worry about that. Like in a lot of ways, there's something that's a bit rough when you have friends that are not all like resolved in their emotions regarding the situation, but they have a thing that is their focal point of connection, right? That recently became a source of pain. Now, everyone has their own way of coping with pain, but the idea that what might have helped Hiragi out a lot more here is basically trying to commiserate with Mafuyu and letting him know how much he's been in pain regarding this as well, and he's just worried about him. And he just wants to let him know, like, hey, I care about you, and I don't know what's going on with you, but I also have felt hurt in that I haven't been able to connect with you because you've isolated yourself from us. And
if he isn't willing to be or able, in this moment to be open about his feelings with Sato, how can he expect Sato to be open about his feelings with him?
Exactly.
Right? So and since he's initiating, it's kind of on him to take that first step, right?
Because he's showing the desire, so he needs to basically make sure that Sato or Mafuyu is also interested in that as well.
Right.
Because he might not be.
Yep. And if he's not, that's totally fine.
Okay, I'm really glad that kind of Shizuzumi came in at that point and alleviated a lot of our concerns about Hiragi and the situation there.
Yep.
Now, I was also wrong in the beginning of the episode. Yuki committed suicide. Okay, gotcha. His mother gave the guitar to Mafuyu.
Yep.
Not only that, the parents of both Mafuyu and Yuki were okay with their relationship and were encouraging it. So this is something where we're not seeing family discrimination, which is wonderful. Thank you.
Right.
We can move on with that as a story plot point for.
There could still totally be bullying or things like that,
yes,
right?
Of course. But seeing that it's not coming from within the family is wonderful. Like I'm so tired of that in stories these days because that's just not as much a thing even now as much anymore. It's still a thing, absolutely. But it's becoming less and less. So having stories that explore that as not the central conflict point.
Right. It can be easy for something like this that is very character focused to turn into dealing with the conflict of the other person rather than actually dealing with the internal emotions,
stuff.
Right?
Yes, exactly. Which is far more interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I love one of the reasons why I love Sato's scene of just walking around the city so much. As he's just processing this, and then at the end when he's staring at the ocean,
like, I'm not lonely.
I'm not lonely.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is that that felt like a wonderful example of the less is more. Right. We could have totally had something where Sato is we get to listen to his thoughts, as he's going through the city, and that could still totally be really good, right?
For sure.
And that could be a way to get lots of good, helpful information, see where he's at, right? But instead, no. It's not about actually getting details or seeing where he's at. We get to feel where he's at, right?
Yeah.
And that's I feel like it's doing something similar to what music is, right? Where music, it's yes, there's the lyrics have structure and everything like that, and it can be talking about specific stuff, but it's more about using something that is not just words to communicate emotion, right? Yeah. And that's what we got here with this wonderful artistic medium that is anime, and seeing this boy just process things.
Yep.
And then, it ending with, I'm not lonely. It's like, there you go. Question, answer, all of that. We get it in one short, concise little sentence.
Kaji, though, you are my man. You are a legend.
Best boy.
Best boy.
I feel like,
down.
Kaji is just so wonderful.
Such a dunce. I love him.
I'm so glad that he is this good. Yeah.
Like he is literally just Reiner with piercings brought into this world.
Oh, man.
And he fits so well. The idea that, his dumbass self figured out rather quickly, okay, this is what the situation is. I can kind of tell. Okay, Haruki. No. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like, that was wonderful. Also, the understanding he has from seeing Uenoyama and then comparing Uenoyama's bit of, oh, that feeling I get when I listen to him sing, it feels like this, and I don't understand this feeling.
Yep.
Do you understand it? And then Kaji's like, yeah, I understand that. And we had a character that we had seen that he is either moved in with, sleeping with, or at the very least, living together.
Is that his current boyfriend?
That's the other guy, basically.
Gotcha.
Played the violin at some point. And one of the things that's just a lovely little bit of exposition we got was that for some reason Kaji also plays the violin.
He's somewhat of a music aficionado.
Aficionado. You know, why does someone who plays drums play a super complicated strings instrument that is like, sometimes that's people's one instrument. You know, when people say they play piano or guitar, it's like, okay, you can play like a couple other things as well.
Yeah, like piano is like, if it was something like piano, that would make a lot more sense, because apparently that one's really good for just helping to teach you how the structure of music works, right?
But violin, that's a very, very specific style of instrument.
It's probably about as much of an antithesis to guitars as like me, the music dunce, would like expect, because like precision and delicate movements and everything versus drums where it's
percussion,
smashing things,
it's literally the opposite in my mind. You have classical,
and I'm sure Kaji could make us sob with his violin.
Yeah, Mr. Double Bass Pedal over here.
Yep.
He's a man of many talents, many persuasions. So I love Kaji in that he's just a beautiful man, and
he's such a heartbreaker, going over to check on Uenoyama and show him like the
completely ignoring the sister as well. Like, she's seriously like, you, and then
yeah, right, exactly. And then even with Haruki later, when Haruki's all like, yeah, he's like, oh, I just wanted to see you and get some coffee.
Get some coffee. I was in the area.
Yeah, I was in the area, and he's just like.
Also, you can. Make coffee through a filter, and he's like,
right.
Stop it. So the fact that then that emotional connection that he shares with this guy, then is something that he connects with the idea of Uenoyama's emotional status right now. He can absolutely tell that Uenoyama is falling for Sato, but does he then kind of extrapolate from there the quiet nature of Sato to be one where he's like, oh, I can tell that for now, this is something where we don't necessarily want to barge in on any kind of ideas of past relationships.
Sure.
Because in some ways...
Yeah, even not knowing about how bad it went.
Right, just the idea that, oh, Uenoyama and Mafuyu are having a bit of a young discovering of what their emotional connection is to each other. And I don't want to bring up that kind of shit. He might not know that there's any kind of trauma associated with it. Just the idea of, no. We don't need to bring up pain in that regard and stuff. Let's keep things light. Let's keep things fun.
Like, it's something where it's a pretty common thing in romantic stories, whether you're talking anime or whatever, to have the character who knows what's up, right?
Yes.
Looks at the two and is like, I see.
I get it.
Right? Yeah. And it's one, just a normal thing that would happen because most people are not that good at hiding their feelings for another person.
True.
But two, and two, it's great comedy. Three,
very good comedy.
It's a great way to basically underline and highlight for the audience, yes, this is indeed what's going on. Yeah. Right, exactly. But a lot of the times I feel like those characters can get very sort of nosy, like or sort of like arrogant and like, yes, I understand what's going on, And then it's like, no, please, just stop.
Just shut the fuck up and let it happen.
Super chill, and doesn't change his approach or anything. Just gives them space, right? In the most like. Well, okay, he was
in the most awkward way possible.
Well, okay, yes, it was pretty direct with Haruki, but like
strangles him out in front of him as he's like, "What about past relationships?"
Okay, yeah, that's true.
And everything.
Yeah,
no, that's why I love Kaji, is that he's actually kind of an idiot. But he's a beautiful baka idiot.
Right.
Like, love
exactly.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't see how much he's breaking, say, Uenoyama's sister's heart when he comes over to to visit him. Right. But at the same time, when he realizes that Uenoyama isn't really sure, and Uenoyama is actually asking, what are these feelings? Help me understand them.
He's like, whoa.
He's just like,
Bro,
okay, I understand,
you?
but
Okay.
no, I'm not going to get in the way here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, me saying anything could theoretically, like, change it.
Possibly.
You experience this. There you go.
Yeah.
And like that was like
feels
such
so
a
good.
that was such a bro move of like the highest level.
The highest level.
I want there to be proper attention brought to it because damn Kaji,
Yes.
you are
a man.
solid. You are a man among men. You know, way to go. And you're
how
also
he's
very
like, yes,
hot.
he's
You know,
also like solid all over. Like,
yeah.
all right. We are getting a little bit more from the old group that was with Sato.
Yep.
Getting a little bit more of an understanding of where the emotions of Uenoyama are at with regards to this. And Sato doesn't feel lonely.
Right.
Even when he's all alone the entire day, basically.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to sing about then? Is it going to be the ED? Because I don't feel like the music that they've got fits
The
perfectly
visuals
well.
of the OP.
No. It doesn't fit the it doesn't fit the music that we've heard them play
Gotcha.
for this
Yeah.
thus far. But
Yeah.
I'm really excited to have the slow build up for this
Right.
eventual song that comes forth. Because I think once the song comes forth, the emotions will just
Oh yeah.
flow
Right.
in a chaotic.
Yep. I
like,
cannot wait to
painful,
see
just
Sato
waterfall.
in that flow state, basically, where it's just like, yep, he's processing the emotions in like perfect harmony. Like, yeah,
It's so beautiful how a passion can end up being therapeutic when it's like something that you would think is primarily more therapeutic for those that are listening or experiencing the results of your passion. So the idea of like, if you cook something for someone, right?
yeah,
The giving of the food and them eating it and they just oishi, you know, and it's really good and stuff like that. That can be therapeutic, but sometimes it's actually the act of struggling to produce the thing
Sure.
that you have the passion to create that then ends up being the therapy or what have you.
right. Overcoming an obstacle or a struggle, regardless of what it is, can be very helpful if you're dealing with other struggles where you feel
Yes.
less equipped.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And okay, let's experience that. Yeah.
Also, kind of not the most important thing to bring up at the very end, but something that I did alleviate some of my concerns because I want this to be a very sweet and wholesome.
the way the girl handled
the way the girl was like,
the rumoring.
I shouldn't have said the thing at that last bit there, even though, you know.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. Yeah.
Right, exactly. I'm like, okay, that does give me some hope that she's self-conscious enough to not go into some kind of like bully, you know, move or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate.
But Uenoyama's jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need to process that because you don't want to just keep the lid on it and let them get a bad stench, right?
Yeah.
So,
But I could definitely see that be something that he doesn't know how to process.
Yep.
So, all right.
yeah.
Y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.